Alright you guys, so have a look, that's the replacement power steering pump. I found this fuse box here. So far we've got nothing. Yeah buddy. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode from Salvage Nation. As you can see, we got a ton of parts for the little Polo R, and in this episode, we're gonna be doing a lot. So if you wanna see that, watch to the end.
We love the Beamers, the Benz, the Porsches. All of my fans, I know they're supporting. Style with nothing but look at us now. Whoever's supporting, I'm making you proud. Whoever's supporting, I'm making you proud. Salvage Nation, look at the squad. We're up in the foreign line, look at the car. Look at the car.
So guys, if you look right there, we've got a front bumper, we've got a front slam panel, we've got front bumper reinforcement bar, we've got a radiator, we've got a ton of parts. But where I want to start is trying to get the power steering on the car fully functioning again. Oh, and that's where this comes in. This is a replacement power steering pump. If you remember in episode 1, I stripped down the car and I found a lot of damage on the power steering pump. It wasn't working. I went and ordered a new one, and now it's time to get this car working. Now have a look guys, in the last episode, I also showed you that we had some damage to this suspension area, and at the end of that episode I told you that I went down to my local breakers to get a new suspension corner. That's all the bits of the suspension, and I got that, and I also went and got a used tyre, and as you can see, everything is looking great. On the suspension now, the car is rolling. However, I've got no power steering, so like I said, we need to get this right in that little spot right there. There's not a lot more to say. Let's get all of this stuff unboxed and get it on the car. Right, so we're getting started by removing this passenger side wheel. This is gonna give enough access to fit this bad boy. This is our replacement power steering pump, as I said, and this should be a pretty easy task. Or is it? Alright you guys, so have a look. That's the replacement power steering pump fitted. Let's go start up the car and see if we've got power steering. So far we've got nothing. Alright you guys, so we still have no power steering, which is a bit weird. But check, have a look at that. When I tried to connect to the power steering pump, it says no communication with the ECU. So that tells me there's a problem. So what I've done, I went and got my trusty little tester, and I've just prodded this wire here. Have a look. That's green, that means that's negative. Now the negative is the brown, and as you can see, that is green. The blue should be red. That should be a constant positive, and that's not giving me any constant positive. When I give it positive, I don't know if you can see that, I can hear the pump kicking in. So if I come up here and I follow that blue wire, I found this fuse box here. Now all of these fuses are constant power. So have a look. That one, red. I'll skip the blue. That one's red. That one's red. This is a spare. And the spare one, have a look, is red. When I go to the blue, it's green. Now, when I look, this little black box here, that's the fuse. Inside there is the fuse. If I go on the other side, you can see it's giving me red, but when I come back to this side, it's giving me green. So in the accident, something's probably tripped that fuse, and this fuse inside is no good. But luckily, VW, they always anticipate this, and they give you one spare one. So I'm gonna shift the blue one from here over to the spare, and that should give me power steering power. So let me do that, and then we'll see if it's working. All right, you guys, we got good news. So I swapped it from the dead fuse right here. I found the same value fuse, and I've swapped it down there. Mustafa started it up, and it is working. However, it's a bit low on oil, so I'm on the phone to my local parts supplier. We're ordering some oil. You don't want to run these cars with this electric power steering pump with low oil, because you can damage the seals. So as soon as they pick up, I'm gonna order 2 liters of oil, get it in there, and then we can continue. So if the part's ordered, I got straight on to tearing down this front end. I've done this a million times, so it's literally just going piece by piece, one by one, removing all the nuts and bolts, and everything literally just came off without a hitch. Finally, it was time to remove the rads, and these pipes were a headache, but there you go, everything is off. Take a look at it. Alrighty guys, so it's about 2 hours later. This is what I was waiting for, the green stuff. This is hydraulic fluid. And this is the one that's rated for this car based off the reg. So, time to fill it up and hopefully everything works. You gotta be real precious with these things, man. That's it, it's hit the line. Cover this down now, start it up, and hopefully we should have power steering fluid. Power steering fluid? Hopefully we should have power steering. I'll leave the mic here. You lot can hear it. Forgot something. Hold on. So guys, we've actually got power steering. I can hear it. I don't know if you guys heard it before, but look, one hand, all good. Yeah, buddy. Once you know, you know. So, it's been a long old day. It's just gone 6 p.m. I've been here since 8 a.m., but it's been very productive. We got to the bottom of the power steering issue. We managed to strip down the entire car. Tomorrow I'm gonna come in and we're gonna start the reassembly process, and hopefully we'll have this front end reassembled. But for now, I'm gonna head home and I'll see you guys in the morning. So the following morning, I wanted a quick start, so I went ahead and I swapped out all the damaged radiators and also fitted the replacement intercooler. Once assembled, I had to then fit it into the front slam panel by utilizing the yellow mounts. Once in place, I had to just tighten everything down before moving on to the next step. I always like to spin it around as well and just double check that the fan is moving freely, and there you go. So once I was happy with the rad assembly, I had to connect the front reinforcement bar. This is held together by 4 more screws, and once that was all buckled down, I could fit the entire assembly onto the front of the car. Next, it was time to connect the hoses to the rad assembly, and they all went on without a hitch, and once in place, I just had to lock it all down with some hose clamps. Now with everything in place, I wanted to just fill the system with some water before I use actual coolant, and that is just to do any tests to make sure that everything is all good. Now whilst the system was warming up, I went ahead and removed the old lock from the broken slam panel and refitted it onto our replacement slam panel. After that, I had to fit these 2 little connector brackets, and as you can see right now, I'm going to leave them quite loose and I'm only going to be turning them with my hands, and I'll explain the reason for that later on. Now everything is going smoothly and everything is looking great. However, have a look at this. When I closed the bonnet and I had a little feel, the bonnet was a tad bit too low, and that's why I left everything loose. There are 2 further adjustment screws on either side of the front slam panel, and with all of them loose, as you just saw, I was able to nudge the front slam panel upwards. Yes guys, have a look at that. Just a little bit of adjustments. Jeez. All good. And guys, this is it. This is what it's all come down to. Have a look at that new front assembly. The water was holding fine, no issues. Everything looks great. Okay guys, so there you have it. A little bit of hard graph and just a little bit of knowledge. We've managed to reconfigure the front end on this car. We've got a new intercooler and we've got that radiator in place. The car's been running and it's been warming up. It's not been leaking, the fan's been kicking in. So I'm happy that the cooling system is all good. We just need to regas the AC condenser, but that's something we can do later on. I'm waiting for a passenger, actually no. I'm waiting for a driver side headlight. I've got the passenger headlight and I'm waiting for a front bumper in the post. So this is where we're gonna have to end this episode. I can only work with what I've got, and we've worked through all the parts that I got in this episode. So stay tuned for the next episode where hopefully we're gonna be finishing off this car and getting it out. I wanted to give it a little test drive, make sure everything is functioning as it should. And then after that, we can get this car into paint. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press the like button. And like I always say, keep it moving, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that, why don't you check out one of my previous videos on the left? There's plenty in the playlist. And if you want to know more about the Salvage game, why don't you become a member of Salvage Nation, and I'll be there to guide you along the way. And don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram if you want to get an inside scoop before YouTube.